Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the class. Today, we will start the 10th chapter of your civics, that is Law and Social Justice. And this whole chapter is about the workers, the condition of the workers in which they are working in our country, what the government can do to protect their interest and the various laws the government has made in order to protect the interest of the workers, and lastly we will try to understand the all the situation through Bhopal gas tragedy. And in this regard, as you see, you can see the name of the chapter is Social Justice. So you must understand the meaning of social justice. Social justice means that there should be equality in the society, there should not be any kind of exploitation in the society. And whenever there is exploitation, it is of the weaker section of the society, the poor section, the workers, the laborers, the minorities, the women. These are the weaker section of the society. And in this chapter, as I told you, we are concerned with the interest of the workers. So, how to bring social justice in a country? And what role is played by the government in order to bring social justice in the country. So we see that whenever market is there, market is a place where selling and purchasing of things is done. And in market, so many people are involved, like there are some private companies, there are government is also doing some economic activities. So economic activities are done in the market. And whenever any economic activities is done by the private companies, their aim is to earn profit. है ना? Private companies always work for profit. They want to make as much profit as they can. And in order to gain profit, what they will do, they will try to reduce their cost price. And how they will reduce their cost price? They can reduce their cost price by giving lesser wages to the workers, है ना? And by making them work more and more, making them work for more and more hours, है ना? So in this way, the private companies may increase their profit. So we see that now here comes the role of the government, because there can be exploitation of the workers by the private companies, है ना? Because the if the workers are underpaid or they are not paid fairly, then it is the exploitation of the workers. So they are the weaker section of the society, so they need protection. So the government makes a law in which it can prescribe minimum wages. And what should be the minimum wages for a worker? And the worker must be paid that minimum wages by the employer. कम से कम उसको उतना wages तो जरूर मिलना चाहिए. This is according to the law, है ना? And this minimum wage is revised every year. So in this way, the government can protect the interest of the workers, and government can bring social justice in the society. But here you must understand, it is not only the workers whose interests are needed to be protected, but in a market, you can see that three main players are there: the workers who work in the factories, the consumers for whom the things are produced, and the producer who is there to produce the things. So these are the three main players in the market. And uh, they all are connected to each other. And all the government makes laws in such a manner that uh, no one should be exploited, है ना? So this is the thing which we need to understand. And now you have a column in table 1. This is column 1 is saying about law, column 2 is saying about why is it necessary, and column 3 is saying whose interest does the law protect. So the law says, like first यहाँ पर हम देख रहे हैं इसको, first one, this minimum wages act. ठीक है, this minimum wages act says that wages should not be below a specified minimum. Okay, and now the question, next question is, why is it necessary? Why this law is important? So many workers are denied fair wages by their employer. The employer is not giving them fair wages. The employer is giving them lesser wages in order to maximize their profit. So they are exploited. And on the other hand, we see that the workers are not in a condition of bargaining. They don't have bargaining power, है ना? Because they badly need work. जितने भी पैसे में उनको काम करने को मिलेगा, they are ready to work. So they are paid low wages. उनको low wages पे किया जाता है. Okay, so this is the reason why there is need of a law. And now this third column is whose interest does the law protect? So this law, the Minimum Wages Act, is actually protecting the interest of the workers, like farm laborers, construction workers, factory workers, domestic workers, etc. Okay, so now we have completed this, and now we have the second law in the column, that is law specifying that there be adequate safety measures in workplace. Workplace पे safety measures होनी चाहिए, like alarm system. If something is wrong, then there must be a system of alarm, है ना? Then emergency exit होना चाहिए, emergency exit. If such situation arises, तो उस जगह से बाहर निकलने का इमरजेंसी में एक वैसा कुछ भी होना चाहिए, वे थ्रू विच पीपल कैन एग्जिट एट द टाइम ऑफ इमरजेंसी. देन जो मशीनरी है वो प्रॉपरली फंक्शनिंग कर रही है. अगर मशीनरी में कुछ प्रॉब्लम आ रही तो उसके बारे में पता होना चाहिए. तो दिस इज ऑल्सो अ लॉ. नाउ वाई दिस लॉ इज नेसेसरी? बिकॉज मेनी टाइम्स द प्रोड्यूसर्स, in order to cut their cost price and in order to maximize their profit, they don't follow the safety measures, because in order to follow the safety measures they had to spend a lot. So they don't follow the safety measures, so there is a need to make a law. And whose interest is it protecting? This law is protecting the interest of the workers, because it is focusing on adequate safety measures. So if safety measures will be there, then the safety of the workers can be ensured. And now the third one is law requiring that the quality of goods meet a certain prescribed standard. For example, electrical appliances have to meet safety standard. अब जो goods produce हो रहे हैं उनका एक standard होना चाहिए. So this law is very much important, and this law is there because again the producer, in order to increase its margin of profit and in order to minimize the cost production, the the producer may produce poor quality of products, because it will save money, it will reduce its cost of production. So he may produce poor quality of product, है ना? तो इसलिए इस लॉ का होना जरूरी है. और इस लॉ से किसके इंटरेस्ट की प्रोटेक्शन हो रही है? दिस लॉ इज प्रोटेक्टिंग द इंटरेस्ट ऑफ द कंज्यूमर्स. Okay, and now we have the next law requiring that the prices of essential goods are not high, for example sugar, kerosene, food grains. Why this law is important? Because many times it happens that essential goods की जिसको हम कहेंगे कि दे आर काला बाजारी जिसको कहते हैं, उनको स्टोर कर लिया जाता है। जो बड़े बड़े मार्केट में जो ट्रेडर्स होते हैं वो उसको स्टोर कर लेते हैं, जिसके कारण उनका हाई हो जाता है प्राइस। तो अगर एसेंशियल गुड्स का प्राइस हाई हो जाएगा तो फिर पुअर विल बी इन वेरी ट्रबल, है ना। तो ये लॉ इसलिए ज़रूरी है ताकि एसेंशियल गुड्स जो हैं उनकी कालाबाजारी ना हो सके और उनको वो चीपर प्राइस पे सबको अवेलेबल हो सके, और ये पुअर के इंटरेस्ट को प्रोटेक्ट करता है। एंड नाउ वी हैव अनदर लॉ रिक्वायरिंग दैट फैक्ट्रीज डू नॉट pollute air or water. This is also important because whenever this production activity of production is going on, so many polluted water is discharged from the factory, polluted air is discharged from the factory, which is responsible for the pollution of air and water. So it is important that such law must be there, and it is protecting the interest of all the people, all the humanity, है ना। पूरी पूरी दुनिया को ये बचाने के लिए ज़रूरी है। एंड देन देर इज़ अनदर लॉ लाइक दिस लॉ अगेंस्ट चाइल्ड लेबर इन वर्क प्लेस। वर्क प्लेस में चाइल्ड लेबर के अगेंस्ट लॉ, ये लॉ क्यों ज़रूरी है? बिकॉज द चाइल्ड in our country now we have right to education, so the children below the age of 14 must get education. For that purpose there is need of law against child labor, and this protect the interest of the child, because they should not be engaged in economic activity, instead they should be given proper education, है ना। देन वी हैव लॉ टू फॉर्म वर्कर्स यूनियन एंड एसोसिएशन। ये भी एक लॉ है कि जो वर्कर्स हैं वो अपने आप को ऑर्गेनाइज कर सकते हैं, दे कैन मेक यूनियंस, दे कैन मेक एसोसिएशन। तो इस तरह का जब होता है तो इससे क्या होता है कि जब वो अपने आप को एक यूनियन या एसोसिएशन में ऑर्गेनाइज कर लेते हैं तो उनकी पावर बढ़ जाती है, इट इंक्रीजेज देयर डिमांड, इट इंक्रीजेज देयर power, and now they can demand so many things for themselves, like they can demand that the working conditions should be better, they can demand that they should get more wages, they are not getting wages according to their work. So this is very important, and it is again going to serve the interest of the workers. Okay. So, as we have seen that it is very much important for the government to make laws in order to protect the interest of the weaker section of the society, especially when we are talking about the workers. So, but here you must understand that only by making laws we cannot. The government cannot protect the interest of the workers. What is more important, that the law must be enforced. Without enforcement we cannot think of any we cannot think that the law will become, any kind of any the law will be of any use. So enforcement is very much important. Like government has made the law of minimum wages, that all the workers must get at least a certain amount of wages as minimum wages. But only by making this law, it is not you can never be assured, the government can never be assured that all the workers are getting minimum wages in the factories. So, in order to enforce this law, what is important on the part of the government, that it must go for regular inspection of work site. And not only this, the government must punish those who are violating the law, who are not giving the minimum wages to the workers, है ना। So it is very much important. And now we see that what is important for the government, that it must make laws, है ना, it must enforce those laws, and it must uphold those laws. Then only we can and we can think of controlling the activities of individuals and private companies, so that the social justice can be ensured. And now we see that some of the laws which are very much important for the protection of the interest of the workers are given in our fundamental rights. fundamental rights which are guaranteed by the Indian Constitution. It also says right against exploitation. It says that no one can be forced to work for low wages or under bondage. है ना? Bondage labor has been abolished under this right. Now no one can force anyone to do begar. Begar means working without getting any remuneration. Nowadays this has been completely abolished. And similarly we have one more right uh, under this only, राइट अगेंस्ट एक्सप्लॉयटेशन के अंदर ही एक और राइट है दैट नो चाइल्ड बिलो द एज ऑफ 14 शैल बी एम्प्लॉयड टू वर्क इन एनी फैक्ट्री और माइंस और एनी अदर hazardous employment. So these fundamental rights are there to protect the interest of the weaker section of the society. Okay, and now we see that how these laws are played in practice, and how they address the concern of social justice. And we are now going to see all these. Like first of all, we will discuss about child labor. We have this record. According to this 2001 consensus, what was the data that over 12 million children in India who are aged between 5 and 14, they work in various occupation, including hazardous one, which was prohibited by the constitution. And still, in 2001, it was found that over 12 million children are involved in various types of occupation, in which hazardous occupations are also involved. And then the government made a law, that is Child Labor Prevention Act of 2006. Okay, Child Labor Prevention Act 2006, in which the government banned the children below the age of 14 from working as domestic servant or working as in dhabas or restaurant or tea shop. So according to this law, Child Labor Prevention Act, now the children below the age of 14 cannot be engaged in any economic activity. Okay, and not only this, this law also says that the children, if someone is employing children below age of 14, then it is a punishable offense. That person will get punishment. And what is the punishment? The punishment is two months, from 3 months to 2 years jail, है ना? A jail term of 3 months to 2 years, or a fine of rupees 10,000 to 20,000. Okay, and we see that the central government has also asked the state government in order to enforce the law. अगर आप law को सही से enforce करना चाहते तो आपको बहुत सारे steps लेने होंगे. Only by making law you cannot ensure that the law is enforced. So now the central government has asked the state government to develop plans to how to rescue the children who are engaged in various type of economic activity and how to rehabilitate them. Make a plan of all these rescue and rehabilitation program. So now three state governments, Maharashtra, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, have given this plan to the central government. But the condition of child labor is still very critical. We find that 74% of child domestic workers are still under the age of 16. So this is just you try to understand that law is there. Our constitution also says that the child below the age of 14 should not be engaged in any hazardous work. And then there was amendment in the constitution that every child below the age of 14 must get compulsory and free education. Still, we find that this law is violated. So, only by making law, we cannot ensure social justice. We cannot ensure the protection of the interest of the weaker section of the society. And now we will see about it, Bhopal Gas Tragedy. This is through this tragedy. It is hope that you will be able to understand so many things. First of all, you must know the date. It was in December 1984 when this tragedy took place. The place was Bhopal, of course, and it was in Bhopal. The Union Carbide Company, which is an American company, it had opened its factory in Bhopal with the permission of the government, Indian government only. इंडियन गवर्नमेंट की परमिशन से यूनियन कार्बाइड जो कि अमेरिका की कंपनी थी उसने अपनी एक यूनिट खोली थी, फैक्ट्री खोली थी भोपाल में, जो कि पेस्टिसाइड्स प्रोड्यूस करती थी। और 2 दिसंबर 1984 के मिडनाइट को क्या हुआ, एक टॉक्सिक गैस जो थी मिथाइल आइसोसाइनाइड, MIC. This gas started to leak, which is a highly poisonous gas, and this caused this Bhopal gas tragedy.